My dad and stepmom left me behind for Christmas vacation, saying, "You don't deserve to celebrate with us." So I made plans of my own. When they came back, they found their house completely empty, and their reactions were priceless because I was standing in the living room when my dad looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You're not coming with us this year." At first, I thought he was joking. Christmas in Aspen was a family tradition, something we did every year with our relatives. My cousins would fly in, we'd stay in this huge cabin, and for once, it actually felt like I was part of something. It was one of the only times of the year I actually looked forward to. So, when he said it, I laughed. Just a short, awkward laugh, waiting for him to crack a smile. But he didn't. My stepmom just sat there with that smug little smirk, picking at her salad like she hadn't just watched my entire world crash down in front of me. "You don't deserve to celebrate with us," she said, finally looking up. I felt my stomach tighten. "What?" Dad sighed, like he was tired of even having this conversation. "You've been ungrateful all year. You don't help around the house. You don't respect us. This trip is for family, and quite frankly, you haven't been acting like part of this family." I could feel my hands balling into fists under the table. I worked after school, paid for my own gas, my own phone, even bought my own food sometimes because they conveniently forgot to grocery shop. Meanwhile, my stepbrother, Nick, did nothing but sit in his room playing video games all day, and they treated him like a damn king. I looked over at him, slouched in his chair, already wearing his brand new ski jacket. He grinned at me like he had won. "So, you're just leaving me here?" I asked, my voice tight. "You're old enough to take care of yourself," my dad said, standing up. "Maybe next year, if your attitude changes, we'll reconsider." And that was it. Discussion over. My stepmom got up and started clearing the dishes like they hadn't just decided to abandon me for Christmas. Like I was nothing. I sat there, staring at my half-eaten plate of food, my face burning. My own dad. The man who was supposed to protect me, love me, make me feel like I belonged somewhere. He had just thrown me away like I was some inconvenience. And that's when I knew. If I wasn't family to them, then they sure as hell weren't family to me. The night they left, I watched from my bedroom window as they loaded the car. Dad shoved their expensive suitcases into the trunk while Nick whined about how long it was taking. My stepmom kissed my dad on the cheek before sliding into the passenger seat, her overpriced sunglasses perched on her head, even though the sun had already set. They didn't even say goodbye. The second they were out of sight, I picked up my phone and made the call. "You ready?" Within an hour, my cousin Jake and a few of our friends pulled up with a moving truck. We worked all night. The big screen TV my dad loved so much. Gone. The fancy leather couch my stepmom just had to have. Loaded up. Every single piece of furniture, every bit of decor, every useless overpriced thing they had wasted money on instead of ever helping me. Taken. Even the curtains. Nick's gaming setup. Packed up and hauled away. By morning, the house was nothing but empty walls and bare floors. The only thing left was a single folding chair in the middle of the living room, with a note taped to it. "You're right. I don't deserve to celebrate with you." And then, I locked the door behind me. I wasn't just taking their stuff. I was taking back what was mine. Because here's the thing, half of everything in that house. Legally, it belonged to me. My grandparents on my mom's side left me an inheritance, a pretty big one. Money that was supposed to be for my future. But my dad. He had control of it until I turned 18. And instead of saving it for me, he used it to furnish that house. My mom, the only person in my life who had ever actually cared about me, was a damn good lawyer. When I told her what happened, she reminded me that legally, everything my dad had bought with my money was mine. So I didn't steal. I simply reclaimed my property. The furniture? Donated to charity. My stepmom's designer bags and jewelry. Sold with the money sent to a domestic abuse shelter in my mom's name. Nick's gaming setup. Given to a local youth center for kids who actually deserved it. And the house itself. Well, that was the best part. Because my dad had made a lot of legal mistakes when handling my inheritance. Enough mistakes that, by the time I was done, the house wasn't even his anymore. So when they came back, exhausted from their luxury ski trip, ready to relax in their warm, comfortable home, they came back to nothing. I wasn't there to see their faces, but I can imagine the moment my dad unlocked the front door, stepped inside, and realized the house was completely empty. I can picture my stepmom's shriek when she saw her precious walk-in closet, wiped clean. I can see Nick running to his room, expecting to sink into his gaming chair, only to find the walls bare. And the best part? I was watching it all from a few streets away, sitting in my new apartment because I hadn't just taken their furniture. I had taken my freedom, and they had no idea what was coming next. I was sipping coffee in my new apartment when my phone started blowing up. First, it was a text from Nick. Just one word. WTF. Then, another. Where is my stuff? I ignored him. Then came the calls. My dad, my stepmom, back to back, over and over. I just watched my phone light up on the table, smiling to myself. I knew they were standing in that empty house, screaming, losing their damn minds. But I wasn't about to give them the satisfaction of a response. Not yet. Then, after about an hour of silence, I got a text from my dad. Come home now. That made me laugh. Home? What home? They made it very clear I wasn't part of their family anymore. I didn't reply. 2 hours later, there was a loud knock at my door. I already knew who it was. I took my time walking over, sipping my coffee as I unlocked the door and swung it open. There he was. My dad. Face red, fists clenched, nostrils flaring like some kind of pissed-off bull. Behind him, my stepmom stood with her arms crossed, looking horrified, like she had just walked through a war zone. Where is everything? My dad demanded, pushing past me into my apartment. Where the hell is all our stuff? I just leaned against the doorframe, watching him pace around like he owned the place. Your stuff? I said, tilting my head. You mean my stuff? My stepmom let out this sharp, disbelieving laugh. You little thief, she spat. Do you have any idea what you've done? I shrugged. I think I made it pretty clear. You didn't want me to celebrate Christmas with you, so I made other plans. That was our furniture. Our belongings, she screeched. Funny, I said. I remember you and Dad using my inheritance to buy most of it. Dad's face twisted. You had no right to take everything. Actually, I said, folding my arms, I did. Legally, half of that house belonged to me. Everything bought with my money, mine. And now, it's gone. Just like you wanted me to be. They were speechless. For a few seconds, I just stood there, watching the realization sink in. Then my dad pointed a finger in my face. You are going to fix this, he said through clenched teeth. You're going to bring everything back right now. I laughed. I actually laughed. Yeah, that's not happening. You don't get to make that decision, my stepmom shrieked. But I do, I said, taking a step closer, because you made it clear I was nothing to you. You left me behind like trash. So, I made sure your house matched the way you treated me. My dad was fuming. That same night, my bank account got flagged for suspicious activity. Then my phone service got suspended for non-payment, even though I had autopay set up. I spent hours on the phone, untangling the mess. Someone had called my bank, my phone provider, even my work, trying to get my information changed or shut down. And it wasn't hard to figure out who was behind it. My dad had all my personal details. My social security number, my birthday. He thought if he couldn't control me directly, he'd ruin my life from the shadows. But what he didn't know was that I had already been one step ahead of him. The moment I moved out, I put security alerts on all my accounts, froze my credit. Changed all my passwords. I even had voice authentication set up for my bank, so no one could call in pretending to be me. So, all he managed to do was annoy me. But the fact that he tried, that was enough to light a fire in me. I wasn't going to just sit back and let him come after me. No. If he wanted to play dirty, I'd show him what real consequences looked like. I picked up my phone and made a call. Hey, it's me, I said. You still got those files? There was a pause, then a chuckle. Oh, yeah, my lawyer said. And you're not gonna believe what I found. Turns out, my dad wasn't just bad with my inheritance money. He was bad with a lot of money. See, when my mom and dad got divorced, part of the settlement required him to set aside a trust for me. Something that couldn't be touched until I turned 18. But guess what? He touched it. He dipped into it years ago. At first, just a little. Then more. Then even more. By the time I turned 18, there should have been 6 figures sitting in that account. But when my lawyer dug into it, barely anything was left. And it got worse. My dad had been claiming on his taxes that he was still supporting me, even though I was paying my own bills, filing as if I still lived with him, so he could get a bigger tax return. He had been lying to the IRS. And now? I had all the proof. I sat in my apartment, staring at the files my lawyer sent over, my hands shaking with anger. He had the nerve to tell me I didn't deserve to celebrate Christmas with them. After stealing my money. After leaving me with nothing while he played perfect family with my stepmom and Nick. No. He wasn't going to get away with this. I picked up my phone and made another call. And this time, I wasn't going to warn him. I was going to end him. I spent the next few weeks quietly setting everything up. My dad thought he was untouchable, thought he could mess with me, steal from me, and walk away without consequences. But he had no idea what was coming. First, I filed a fraud report with the IRS. My lawyer helped me submit everything: bank statements, tax records, proof that my dad had been claiming me as a dependent while I was living on my own. The government does not take kindly to tax fraud. Then, we tackled the bigger issue, the stolen trust fund. It was supposed to be protected by law, but my dad had found ways around it, pulling money out little by little over the years. My lawyer assured me we had more than enough evidence to take him to court. But I wasn't done. I wanted him to feel what it was like to have everything ripped away. So I made one more move. I sent everything, not just to the IRS, not just to my lawyer, but to his job. My dad worked for a big finance company. They had strict policies on fraud, tax evasion, and any kind of financial misconduct. If they found out he was stealing and committing tax fraud, he was done. Now, all I had to do was wait. A month later, the storm hit. First, the IRS froze his accounts. They launched a full investigation, digging into years of tax fraud. He owed tens of thousands in back taxes, penalties, and fines. Then his job found out. And guess what? They didn't just fire him. They blacklisted him. The moment they confirmed he had been committing fraud in his personal life, they sent out a company-wide email. Word spread fast. Other firms in the industry got wind of it. His career? Over. No one would hire him. And the final blow. The lawsuit. My lawyer filed against him for the stolen trust fund. Not only did the court rule in my favor, but because he had tampered with a protected account, he was facing criminal charges. He could either pay back every penny, or go to jail. Meanwhile, my stepmom was spiraling. With my dad's accounts frozen, they couldn't pay their mortgage. The house, the one I had already emptied out, was now in foreclosure. Nick. Oh, he was miserable. No gaming setup, no money for new gadgets, no more getting spoiled while doing nothing. He had to get a job for the first time in his life. And let's just say, he wasn't handling it well. And me? I was finally free. I had my own place, my own life. My mom and I grew closer than ever. And with the money I got back, I was able to actually start fresh, on my terms. I didn't just get revenge. I got justice. And I never looked back.